This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, so LifeLock wants to remind you to update your passwords. Using the same password across multiple accounts makes you vulnerable to cybercriminals. For comprehensive identity theft protection, let LifeLock alert you to anything suspicious and fix any issues. Start protecting your identity today with a 30-day free trial at lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
October in Vegas means Pride Month, y'all. While other cities do it in June, we embrace our beautiful fall weather to celebrate the LGBTQIA plus community. So today on CityCast Las Vegas, we're going behind the scenes to find out what makes our celebration so spectacular with parade organizer and Las Vegas Pride president, Brady McGill. It's Tuesday, October 1st. I'm Sarah Lohman, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. Brady, what should we expect from Vegas Pride this year?
Oh, we are going to be downtown for the very first time for our festival.
Fun, like downtown, which downtown? Fremont Downtown Arts District?
So the very famous city of Las Vegas, the real one. So downtown, Fremont Street.
Ooh, Lookout Paradise.
Yeah. The east side of Fremont Street at 4th will be our parade passing by, as per usual, Friday, October the 11th. And then you can join us Saturday, October 12th in that same spot. It's the first time the city's approved our plan to have a street festival and be down there along 5th Street School, 4th Street, and right there in the Fremont Street area.
So it's the 11th and the 12th.
Actually, we do events all year round, but officially Las Vegas Pride is Friday night, October the 11th, and then October the 12th, the Saturday, is our festival. So those 2 days really combine to be our real Pride celebration. We also have a big pool party at Sahara on the 13th. So Sunday, if you're feeling like having a party that day as well, come on down to Sahara. We take over their Zillow pool.
Listen, why stop?
Right, keep going, more.
Start on Friday, go through Sunday, right? What inspired the move to downtown?
Yeah, so Las Vegas Pride is 41 years old. We're celebrating our 41st anniversary this year. Yeah, and we've been all over town, not too far away from here in a site that was located in downtown near the Outlet Malls, the Government Center. Mm-hmm. And we've been there for many years, and we wanted to mix it up and have some variety. So we moved back to Sunset Park. For a few years, we've been at Craig Ranch Park, and now we want to come back downtown and have great parking and great access and be in the street kind of vibe and get that downtown Las Vegas vibe going again for Pride Takeover.
What should we expect from entertainment, from the vendors? Who's going to be there?
Yeah, so we usually have right over 100 guests that are in our parade. So we'll have our 100 entries in that parade that'll go along on Friday night. For our festival, we usually have over 100 vendors that are local artists, cool. Big brands, small brands, our big service providers here in town come out and engage. There's great recruitment opportunities. If you're maybe job hunting, there's some great food. We have some local and kind of visiting food vendors that'll come in and have some great creative stuff for us.
What do you mean by creative? Is there a little wink at the end of creative?
Yeah, there's a vendor that does waffles. They're literally, waffles that, have a little cream inside. It's kind of fun.
Stop it. They're 3-dimensional?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're really kind of interactive, 4-dimensional, I guess.
Oh my God.
That wasn't what I was thinking of. I was thinking more of, just our local, people. We have some vegan, local vegan Mexican food. We've got some local Asian food, some flair there, some local pasta pizza companies that come down and are basically our local food truck community come and show off what they've got too.
Okay. Places like LA, like New York, it's like every Saturday in June, every borough has a Pride. It's enormous, right? Mm-hmm. It's like on this national, if not international scale. So how does Pride here in Vegas differ from a place like New York City?
I love that. And the same, I see people move away and, say that Vegas wasn't it for them or they're moving on to greener pastures and they end right back up here because we have it really good here. It is an interesting thing to compare prides. It would be the same as comparing New York to Las Vegas in a broader sense. They're hard to compare. We do actually work really collaboratively globally with prides. So the dynamics of the city is really the big thing. So, San Francisco doesn't have the opportunity to have an event it's maybe our first time foraying into having this fit more of a street festival, but they don't have somewhere to do it that's not a street festival. So they don't really have a gathering place. It has to be spread out through the streets, similar in New York. Sections of Central Park work, but otherwise it kind of spreads out into the boroughs and around the bars. And then there's examples like, Salt Lake City, which is the largest actual festival in their state, happens around their Capitol building, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And for us, it's great. It really is focusing in on our local community while we are, our legal name is Southern Nevada Association of Pride. There's a Northern Nevada Pride as well. It operates in Reno. And ultimately, I think the thing is I really, really zone in on really making sure that we're focusing on being a great representation of Las Vegas and a really unique like Las Vegas Pride perspective. And I think there's sometimes some pushback on like, well, this other Pride had name an artist, right?
Mm-hmm.
New York Pride had Madonna, and that's great. And they also have a $60 million operating budget and $30 million in real estate holdings. And we are less than $500,000 a year nonprofit. So to me, I really love leaning into focusing on our local talent and really lifting our local people, because if you want to go to Coachella, go to Coachella. I'm not trying to be a music fest. I'm trying to be a really cool celebration and showcase and platform for our community and our talent and our people to really be celebrated, uplifted, have their stories be told, and get that fame and recognition that they really deserve that sometimes isn't always there for them because our community is marginalized and often underrepresented. So
yeah, and Vegas has such a long history of gay performers, some who were not necessarily out or didn't feel that they could be out or couldn't be out, and some who very much were. Do you want to shout out a couple performers who are going to be at Pride this year?
yeah, so we are blessed to bring in some talent from out of the box, out of our market. Some of our people this year for our Grand Marshal role are going to be the Teletubbies, the real Teletubbies. They are really SAG actors. They really are serious, and it's a huge brand. And they celebrate love, diversity, and color and inclusion globally.
Brady, you just buried the lead on Pride here.
I'm really thrilled with it.
Forget Katy Perry, man.
Yeah.
Give me the Teletubbies.
And it just really feels like additive. It's really that like fun, different, unique kind of thing that I think really, really works. They'll be doing some stuff for our kids during the day, but they'll also be doing their Teletubby rave at night for our older crowd.
Stop it, Brady.
Yeah.
What is a Teletubby rave?
They do their dances, and they honestly, so like it's always the same actors. They're always the same like people. They are very serious about their job. They're also like, I'm over 6 foot tall. They're like 7 feet tall. They're really impressive in person. They'll be on the cover of our next magazine issue coming out, in the big article that, reveals and does some of our fun photos with them and our Miss Las Vegas Pride, our Miss Las Vegas Pride, who are also a married couple. They're longtime Las Vegas, like celebrities and, volunteers that have been here for a long time.
Well, I'm starstruck.
It's amazing. Yeah.
And it really is so over the top in this very Vegas way. Like, we are always a little extra, and that like bringing the Teletubbies in as gay icons is a little extra.
TheList.Vegas. It's the free Las Vegas events newsletter created by locals and curated for locals. From food festivals to family events, from burlesque shows to art exhibits, if it's awesome, it's on TheList.Vegas. Every Wednesday, you'll get a list of cool things to do, dining deals, freebies, and other stuff right in your inbox. No algorithmic garbage or AI sludge here. It's 6 human curators handpicking cool events every week. TheList.Vegas was founded by Andrew Corrali. He's a native Las Vegan, longtime local journalist, and well, he's very popular. The sportos, the motorheads, the geeks, and me, we all adore him. We think he's a righteous dude. And he's a CityCast contributor to boot. TheList.Vegas is a fun read for anyone interested in our city, and it's the best place to discover the coolest things to do in Las Vegas.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, so LifeLock wants to remind you to update your passwords. Using the same password across multiple accounts makes you vulnerable to cybercriminals. For comprehensive identity theft protection, let LifeLock alert you to anything suspicious and fix any issues. Start protecting your identity today with a 30-day free trial at lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
I was curious to get your feel about the corporatization of Pride.
Yeah.
There have been some like Instagram videos and TikToks like really lampooning this idea of like, thank you, Chase Bank, for all you've done for the gays. And then like, I think what really kicked it off was Meg Stalter's infamous like, hi, gay Buttershop video.
I love that.
And if no one knows what I'm talking about, like take a moment and look them up. So like, how do you feel about corporate or company sponsors within Pride?
That's an incredible question because it affects me so intimately. And I'm really at that, like intersection of a lot of that. I really think that our pride as a word really to me and really just it means a group. It means a movement. It means things. Pride often gets used kind of interchangeably with gay, and a lot of straight businesses, in fact, that have rainbow washing is the term. Rainbow washing is really when a brand inauthentically represents a relationship to LGBT things. And that often looks like having a pride event or a pride, bar night. So they'll come and do pride at a straight bar to make money for themselves. And it's not gay. It's also not good. Ultimately, like people that have gone to it haven't really enjoyed it. And especially, I think the thing your question really begs is when brands are giving to a campaign that's anti-LGBT and then also trying to be in a pride parade. I think that's really where it comes in. At the same time, it's not free. I think, we get sometimes criticized or asked to have Pride be free. There are some prides that are able to format their event free because huge brands pay them huge sums of money to offset those costs. Because in fact, it's just not free to operate. And in fact, the world is more and more expensive every year. So we really, really pride ourselves in being able to offer a really cost-effective event that we're not aiming to be a very expensive ticket. We are looking to give back to our community. We are, in fact, all volunteers that give our time to do this and make this possible. And it's really the bankroll of our community partners, our big sponsors, our big advertisers. We happen to have a good opportunity of having our magazine and really being able to monetize the attention of our audience to things that are authentically giving back to us. And the big challenge there is when it's not authentic and maybe they didn't tell us the whole story and maybe they're just doing it for the good grace and not really genuinely involved in this space or this cause.
And what is an appropriate and authentic way for a company to support Pride?
Come be in the parade. Come be in the festival. Come look at a sponsorship. Come figure out a way to engage. I mentioned recruiting. There are brands that recruit at Pride. They want to make sure that they are represented, that their makeup of their companies is represented by what the makeup of the community is. And that isn't always easy to do for some brands. And I really, really, applaud the efforts of brands that go out of their way to make that effort and to do that. I think that's really, bold. Like, there's work inside of big corporations that goes both ways, hopefully good wins.
So it sounds like just starting with like making your workplace accessible and welcoming to people who are out in the LGBTQ community.
Yeah.
And you know what? I do just want to shout out the health department and the center, the LGBTQ Center of Las Vegas. Like if anyone has questions about transitioning, the center's what's up. If anyone has any questions about HIV, PrEP, STIs in general and sexual health, like this state is truly awesome. This is very personal, but once when I was in there for a checkup, they asked if I was a sex worker. And actually I thought that was very nice because it was very non-judgmental. They were just like trying to figure out what kind of healthcare I might need in my life. So yay for the state. Okay, we're just going to get into like a tiny bit of the tea and the glory at the end of our talk here. Frankly, one of the reasons that I wanted to have you on the pod was you told an amazing story from the audience at a talk at UNLV because you mentioned that people often complain that the dykes on bikes go first in the parade. But there's actually a very important logistical reason for that. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I love that you're asking me. And it is, I famously say this, I'm an open book. There's nothing like, I don't pull punches. There's no reason to be secretive. And a lot of times like people make things up when they don't have the answer. And the answer is the bikes are really loud. It's just really hard to have, like, we used to be televised some years ago. Shout out to Cox Communications, who actually is also a very long running red level sponsor of ours. I think it's tough to put ourselves in other people's shoes sometimes because those challenges, while they seem so easy to solve, and even myself within our own decision making within our board, right? We're volunteers and sometimes it's, hey, let's change this little thing. And it's not because anybody's trying to be any one way about something, but not everybody understands where all the gears hit and all of the downriver effects that one little change is much harder than it sounds. And so really understanding that it is just much more complicated for us to even be here. It's much more expensive for us to be here than it should be. Our single largest line item is a bill from a public state agency.
Yes. So chill out, everybody.
Little respect. Yeah. And we try our best.
Leave Brady alone. Leave the dykes on bikes alone. Not that they care what you think.
Desert Brotherhood will for sure be opening the parade this year. They signed up. I have them all taken care of. They're a bike crew. And if there are any females, even that's Harkening back to Dykes on Bikes again, there was a big fight locally that a group wanted to do a Dyke March and another group was viscerally against that because they find that word to be offensive. And queer has become an embraced word. But yeah, I've had to say this in the past to people who had genuine concerns. And I really want to make sure that people understand, like, we want to do better, but we also, like, a complaint box is one thing, but come and lend a hand and, like, get involved and we'll make those changes together. Like, it's hard and it's a lot of work and we do this on the side.
What's one of the most joyous moments that you've witnessed during a Pride?
There was Pride falling where it does in the year has been informed a lot by other current events. So shortly after there was a shooting in Las Vegas, the 10-1, we had an art installation that was a part of the festival that year. It was a giant heart and people could write on it in chalk. And that kind of became it was really symbolic that year. Obviously it was the next outdoor event after that was Pride. And we were able to bring that heart back again in another year, and it took on a different meaning. There was a couple that got engaged in front of it. It became kind of a viral picture that went out. It was really, really beautiful. I mean, there's a million things like that. A volunteer post-COVID. So he's just this random straight guy that found out about our event. He would, like, every year it's like a slow motion, like, action movie scene where there's, like, you know, chaos going on and, like, there's, you know, smoke rises. And then I see him, like, walking up to me. He never, like, reaches out. He never signs up. He just shows up and helps. And he came up and ran into me. He's like, he'd been working hard all day solving problems, like being a rock star. And he, in a quiet moment, just shared with me that his wife had passed away the week before of COVID. And he was really happy to get his mind off of it and come and volunteer. And it was something that he looked forward to every year. So yeah, that's like you're trying to make me cry.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really special to me to see it be such a community thing. And I know that it's so easy to want us to be like this big flashy, like Las Vegas, like thing. But I think it's important for us to be really like grassroots and really local and really like an authentic representation of our local community, not just something that's flashy for tourists.
Yeah, that's a great transition to my last question. Why should all Las Vegans embrace and support Pride?
Yeah. Las Vegas Pride benefits you whether you know it or not. The work that we do, the audience that we cultivate, the diversity, the equity, the inclusion pieces that are especially now getting pushback on in our society. Yeah, when it's better for someone else, it's better for you. It's related to this. Hopefully I can word it in a way that translates well. There's a documentary about like ADA, so Americans with Disability Act, like accessibility, so ramps, and how the world is challenging for this person who's in a motorized wheelchair. And she has just this really brilliant quote. And she said, you know, I am fighting for me because I'm in this chair, but I'm fighting for you too because you could be someday also. And while that isn't to say that you may wake up one day and change your, you know, sexual identity, but someone you love may be affected by your voting and the rights that you think that people should be entitled to in the diversity of the world. You know, what opportunities go to people that you may care about or the people that you know, your kids, your neighbors, your friends. It's so interesting to me that, yeah, over the years, obviously Pride and Stonewall and that movement have grown into so many facets and so many things. And that I think it often gets underappreciated that Pride is doing that work still. Like, we're not on equal footing. We don't have equal access. You wouldn't believe me if I told you that in the time we've been on here, I probably have at least 10 negative comments that I have to go on and block people for commenting just hate.
I believe you. I'm a woman on the internet. I know exactly how it works. Yeah.
Yeah. Walking in the street. Yeah. I think that the casual person that doesn't experience those things, that doesn't experience being a woman, and I don't think we talk about it enough. I think that people default to expecting the world to be a good place. And I think it's important that people who are marginalized and experience those things share how often it happens, because I don't think the average person realizes that. And I think that's where a lot of that problem is. I think people would fix it if they knew how bad it was. And I don't think people realize that women get treated poorly, that people of color get called racial slurs daily.
We have to work towards the world being a good place. It's not just going to happen.
Yeah, no right has ever just been, here, it's been fought for and won and defended. And there's enough food to go around. There's enough love and care and water and resources for this closed loop system that we live in to keep going and to benefit everybody, and for life to be a joyous, uplifting experience for everyone. And we can do it. We just all have to get together and work on it. And yeah, come to a Pride event, check us out all year round, visit our website, engage with Pride, come be in the parade, come be in the festival. There's opportunities to walk with some of the floats. They'll be inviting people online to sign up if you want to come experience that. But yeah, I mean, it's a representation of our community. It's a celebration of people who don't always get celebrated. And it's a way for us to really showcase what Las Vegas is really great at and some of our local talent.
We'll put links to everything in our show notes. Brady, thank you so much. I know you're busy right now. I appreciate you coming on.
I'm thrilled to be here. And yeah, we're looking forward to our events and making Vegas a better place every day.
And that's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. If you enjoyed this show, tell a friend. Go to Pride. While you're at it, rate our show, leave us a review, and don't forget to subscribe to our morning newsletter, Hey Las Vegas. We'll keep it updated with all of the events coming up in Pride Month. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Take care. Are the waffles vegan?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't think they could do that, but maybe make an exception for this.
Yeah, if you're listening, consider a vegan option because
or try the real thing.
Even the vegans are there for the waffles for sure.